Dust is in my eyes, my blood is on the ground. Quiet little chuckle and the shuffling of the boots of the coward that shot me down. He turns toward the sunrise and I hear him softly say, I guess you've met your macho man, as the colors fade to gray.
Howdy, partners. Dust and Blood is a rabble-rousing, rootin'-tootin', bronco-bustin' podcast not suitable for the ears of young'uns. Take a gander at the content warnings and listen with care.
Welcome to Dust and Blood, a narrative play podcast set in the wild, weird fantasy West. I'm Blake, your GM, and our players are Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Zach Parker as Maz Copernicus Pryor, and Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Last time on Dust and Blood, Jasper got a message from the Apache Natan by Gnollgram. After the party met Sheriff Catalina in Perdition, Maz sold a stolen horse to Jesse Blackbird and set his plan in motion. On a ridge overlooking the town, Carter's second, Vic Bishop, waits, surrounded by outlaws. We're going to jump in with Bonesaw, following behind Terrence and Clarence and Avery and Wilmington. They're walking down the street. Bonesaw, you're keeping a good distance back behind them. Give me a stealth roll. I know you're invisible, but I'm just curious.
That's a 9 plus 20 for invisibility.
Thank you. I assume you're getting close enough so you can actually hear the conversation.
Oh, definitely. Bonesaw wants to hear Avery get chewed out.
Well, shootout he does. He starts listening in, and Clarence, who y'all might remember was the one who was really going after Avery before, has continued to go after Avery as they're walking down the street. God damn it, Avery. Do you know what kind of deal you're getting into? Due to your incompetence, being late, we are going to be lucky to get him on the train. And you come in with all of these random people. Why are you hiring people out? You're going to be lucky if you get even a 10th of your cut of this job. And Avery, walking behind, he's been beat up pretty badly these past couple days. He's not a good person, but you almost feel a little sorry for him as he's getting chewed out by Clarence. Look, they were the only option. The people that you sent me with from back east, they were completely incompetent. They were all greenhorns. I don't know what you thought you were going to accomplish by sending them with me. I barely caught him in Ravenspine. Terrence says, we understand that you're having some troubles. That's okay, but we're obviously going to have to dock your pay for this one because of these mistakes. Wilmington, who's coming in back, and says, Now, gentlemen, as long as the job gets done, it doesn't matter what happens. I think that the folk that Avery has gotten, the fact they're able to handle such a dangerous and violent criminal such as Carter, well, I think that's a point of commendation. Avery continues and says, Look, they were all wild cards, and the fact that I managed to get them here safely is a miracle. They were difficult to work with.
In my face.
Clarence says, Oh, difficult to work with. The great Avery Hodges, the person that everybody loves to work with. Nobody comes away without a bullet hole. Oh, yeah. They were the difficult ones, weren't they? Terrence says, Clarence, give him a bit of a break. He's had to take care of a very difficult criminal. Now, we're all on the same side here. We just have one little job, and then we all can relax and sit through our wonderful payday. The conversation is going to continue very much in this same vein as they go, and Bonesaw, you actually see them walking towards a place that has a sign that reads Blackburn Cattle Company.
Bonesaw decides he's probably heard enough. It doesn't look like Avery's going to rat us out for various doings, and is more likely to get caught if he has to follow them into a building. So I think he's probably going to break off at that point. Go down a few streets before dropping the invisibility, but he's just going to go check on his cart and make sure it's doing okay, and check in on Goiter.
You're going to your cart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow the plume of black smoke.
No!
You all know from what you were told that it's going to be a few hours before the train is going to be there, and you're pretty sure that nothing is probably going to happen until the train is close, so you have a little bit of time. As it gets closer, Moz, you're going to stay at the top of the tower up until stuff starts to happen?
Yeah, just keeping my eyes on the horizon, making sure that nothing suspicious is brewing, playing a little tune to keep himself occupied.
Excellent. Jasper.
I would like to go to probably the general store. I'd like to replenish some of my ammunition that I have expended upon this journey.
Absolutely, yeah. You enter the shop and you meet the small cat folk. She's sweeping up some broken glass from a apparently shattered lantern on the ground and says, "Oh, hello. Hi. Is there anything I can help you with?"
Oh, howdy, Marm. And good day to you. Yes, I've just come into town, and I have had to expend some of my valuable ammunition on the trail, and I would like to replenish my stocks, if that is all right, if you have such things in store.
Oh, yes. I don't exactly have like a big selection. Most of my stuff is stuff that I get from just your basic. I've got shotgun shells, and she picks up like a box of shells, and I got bullets. I've got pistols. I got for revolvers, and each one she's like dashing over, picking up the box, showing it to you, dashing away, picking it up.
Well, I'm not planning on taking on a horde of Apaches or the entire cavalry. So I probably don't need quite this much. I'd like primarily, do you carry adamantine ammunition?
Oh, she scurries in the back, knocks against the wall, which shakes the wall hangings. There's everything, like there's some bear traps, there's rope, a mining pick, a weird curved sword hanging on the wall. She dashes into the back, looks around. About 5 minutes later, she returns.
Flare bullets too, if and you got them.
Let me roll. She comes back. She's only carrying one box, and she says, I'm afraid I'm out of adamantine bullets. I only have this one. And she holds up a single adamantine bullet. There isn't much call for that often in this area. I can special order it if you'd like. I mean, we could look into that. I know that there's supposedly a gunsmith that comes by every few weeks or so. You might be able to talk to them for more specific information.
But they are not in town presently?
No, not right now. They're he prefers to be more underground and travels in secret circles.
Well, I'll purchase this singular bullet from you in any case, since that'll bring me up to the bare minimum I need.
She does hold up also a box of flare bullets if you want to buy those.
Oh, yeah. I'll purchase the one adamantine bullet that she has, and I'll purchase 4 flare bullets.
Perfect. Go ahead and mark those on your inventory. And then after that, are you going to return up to the...
Yeah. I want to relieve whoever has got Carter duty there.
Myra, you and Carter have had an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I'm sure some of it's going to come out. As you're talking, Carter suddenly goes very quiet about 5 seconds before Jasper opens the door and joins you.
Shit. Hey Jasper, you're back early. Did you have answers? Questioned answers?
Yeah, I met up with the fellow what sent me the unusual mail.
Oh, good. Hey, you mind watching Carter for a sec? There's a few things I gotta go do in town, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure thing. I will sit. I'll sit right here, and if Carter wants to palaver, that's fine. And if we want to sit and stew in our own silence, that's fine too.
Yep, he's This is very imaginative, that one.
Well, thank you kindly, Myra.
She salutes and is about to walk out the door.
See you around. And he returns the salute. He turns to you, Jasper, and says, Now, Jasper, I have a feeling that there's not much that I'm going to be able to say to convince you.
I'm a real hard case, I guess, when it comes to stuff like that.
That's okay. Don't suppose you have anything for, you wouldn't mind giving a dying man a smoke?
I do not know if I have any tobacco.
You just got some from Silent Joe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. You take it loose in a pipe, or you do a roll-up?
I prefer a roll-up if I have the time for it. Pipes are inconvenient at times.
Let me see what I can put together here for you. We'll sit upstairs and we'll have a bit of a smoke.
Carter's actually going to ask you for a story. Ask if you don't mind telling him a story about your past.
Well, that's a real difficult one. Seeing as quite a bit of it was so long ago, and I don't know if you are too much aware of the sorts of things that happen to one when they adopt this condition I am currently in. But some things from before that tend to fade. And that's happened a lot. But sure, yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I come from the East. I was not born and raised out here. And to be honest, yeah, no one's really ever asked me much about this, but hell, I was a school teacher for many years. Teaching language and, natural history, that sort of thing. Had a family at one time. Lost him to a fever. And things did not go too well for me for a while. Lost a few years. Came out here chasing some solutions that did not pan out, and it ultimately led to this condition that I find myself in now. How about yourself? You obviously were not foaled as a desperado.
Well, like I told you, it was running into some trouble up against the Blackburns themselves, trying to get a little bit of justice for the farmers out there against the ranchers. One thing led to another, and once you start taking some jobs for the little folk, you start to get a black mark in your tone with the people in power, and start to lose out on some of the good jobs. And one thing led to another. I ain't gonna pretend that I didn't enjoy some of it. Sometimes it's surprising how, if you're not paying attention, it all just slips.
Well, I'd like to think that our lives are, well, to quote one of our great founding philosophers, Mr. Benjamin Franklin, that our lives come into being much like revolutions or bastard children. Half improvise and half compromise. You never know where you're going to end up. I sure as hell didn't think I was going to end up here.
Yeah, Carter laughs at this and says, no, I suppose that's accurate. It's going to kind of continue in this same way. He's going to tell some of the stories from his past, ask you for some more of yours. Eventually, I'm sure it'll lapse into a silence.
When she closes the door, she's actually gonna stand outside for a little bit and listen to the very beginning of that conversation to see if Carter's gonna try to pull something. When he doesn't, she makes her way downstairs, and she's gonna go to wherever possibly shady people walk around, or at least a place that's very public and lots of different types of folks would be walking around. She's gonna try to get in contact with some fellows.
Ooh.
Roll me some knowledge local.
Ooh, and I am actually trained in knowledge local. Yay.
Okay, 13 is absolutely good enough. You ask around a little bit, and you're told that if you're looking for more of the seedier side of things, the best place to go in town is the Throne Horseshoe. It's considered kind of the not as fancy taverns in town.
I see. I will pull up the Perdition map, and she will head towards there, and she's gonna walk in.
As she approaches, she hears a raucous sound. It almost sounds like there is a brawl actively going on at the moment. This very tall and lanky, blue-scaled dragonborn, an eastern dragonborn specifically, steps out. He has glowing red eyes, horns coming back, white hair grown from his head, and his hands are glowing a little bit red as he's hoisting this dwarf, and he just hucks him out into the street.
She kind of watches us and nods and goes, "Yep, looks about right."
The Dragonborn says, "I told you once, Steelhand, you're gonna pay, or you're not gonna be able to come back in." And he gives you a little bit of a heads-up nod as he goes back inside.
She does a salute. She looks at the dwarf who's kind of laying on the ground, and she offers him a hand up. It's like, "Looks like you looking for some trouble."
Way trouble. I'm perfectly fine. Fucking long as bastard doesn't take credit. All over the ground right in front of you.
Okay, you're not who I'm looking for. You rest easy, buddy. Take it easy. She goes into the tavern. She doesn't pull the badge out quite yet because she doesn't know who's gonna see it, but she does pull out a piece of a broken mirror.
Ooh.
Excellent. Right now, the room itself is pretty barren. You know, it's around 1 in the afternoon at this point. The only people are probably people like Steelhand, who are the drunks of the town, and the Dragonborn that you saw standing behind the counter cleaning some glasses and returning them to the shelf. And he looks at you and says, "You're new in town. What can I do for you?"
Well, I can't say I'm in as much trouble as your little friend out there, but I'm looking for some trouble. I guess she puts the broken mirror away because she probably doesn't have to be so careful in here. And she pulls out the badge with the bullet through it, and she kind of puts it on the bar, and she says, "Think you can help me out?"
He looks down at it. A look of recognition crosses his face, and he says, "I think I can help you out." And he extends a talent hand and says, "Name's Casey Long."
Myra Sting. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. He picks up the badge and says, "I haven't seen one of these in person in a long time."
Yeah, well, it's not exactly something you want to go flashing around to everybody, but I need some intel.
What you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for information on the railroad, specifically the Diamondbacks. There's a client of mine who really, really, really doesn't want them to build a new railroad that they're going to be sending down to Perdition. And I need to convince them that they shouldn't do that. But first I need to know what's going on with them and how best I can go about that. And what do you think I can use as bargaining chips, so to speak? At the very least, I just want to stick it to them because those fuckers are bastards.
Casey considers for a second. "I think I can help you out, Ms. Sting. Let's..." and he walks off over to one of his regulars and says, "All right, buddy, you've had enough. Let's get you outside." "I just one more, Casey. And gets led out and kind of pushed out. And Casey takes the lock on the door and just and closes it up. "Now, I hope you understand, this information isn't exactly cheap."
Yeah, I figured. And, of course, I wouldn't expect anything less. You're a respectable man who deserves his pay for his hard work.
Damn right I do. Unlike that fucking asshole, Ellie.
Who?
Sorry. They're... Don't worry about it. You made the right choice coming here and not that other asshole's place.
Well, hold on. Tell me, who's this asshole? I, might as well know where the assholes are so I can avoid them, right?
He looks a little bit embarrassed as he says this and leans in and says, look, you don't... This place is the best tavern in town. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, everyone thinks, oh, go over to the Lucky Strike. They'll make you a drink, and it'll help you figure stuff out. But...
yeah, I've heard some things about that place,
Yeah.
Working with some below the shelf kind of liquor there. It's alright, you won't have to worry about me going over there.
This is what I've been telling everybody in town, but no. Oh, it's so good. They're so amazing at making drinks. It's bullshit. You know how you make a damn good drink? You take it off the shelf and you fucking pour it. It doesn't need any of this frou-frou crap in it.
She lifts a shot glass and she goes, here.
Pulls a bottle off the shelf and pours it straight. I like you, Myra. Good folk.
Well, great minds think alike. Meanwhile, she's definitely going to go find this person later and talk to them for sure. 100%, but she's definitely playing with this guy. But yeah, anyway, enough about the garbage.
Casey is going to take a minute. He pours you another drink and slides it across with a number written on it. It just says $12.
Well, that's definitely not nearly what I thought it was going to be. She pulls out $12 and she slides it over.
That's just to start the investigation. If I find something really juicy,
I see.
We may have to renegotiate. But I can tell you right off the bat, all of this is politics. You don't need any of this. The reason they chose the way they went, the Blackburns had the land to sell them so that they could make the money. That's all it came down to, for most of it. Places were setting down roots. They could buy up where it was cheap. They didn't want to go closer to the river because that's where all of the canyons are, and you'd have to navigate around all of that.
So they got the land from the Blackburns, originally.
Part of it. Some of it was federal government, of course.
Of course. And so close to the river would be too dangerous for them because of the canyons.
They could do it, but it would cost them more money.
I see. So they definitely need a significant reason to go build that way if they were going to go build that way.
Yes, but it's doable. They just don't want to shell out the money for it.
I see. Interesting. Well, cheap bastards. I already knew that, but...
If you want, I can dig up, see if I can find any dirt on them.
You know what? This has actually been very useful information. I'm always happy to be a customer of yours. If you do happen to manage to find some dirt, of course, I'm a paying customer.
That you are.
But either way, you have already been very, very helpful. And she grabs $5 and she slides the $5 over just as, a tip.
He takes it and just stuffs it into his vest pocket and says, pleasure doing business with you, Myra. If you need anything else, or if you need any help, and he taps the badge, let me know. I can see if I can hook you up.
All right, Casey, you look after yourself, and I'll be back, so keep an eye out.
Will do.
Okay, she leaves the bar, and then she's gonna immediately go to the strike.
The Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike, immediately.
Okay. Not even waiting.
No.
The Lucky Strike is actually right next to the inn. You passed by it going out. It seemed like it was pretty quiet as you were passing. It looks very nice. Well-made, well-maintained. It's more of a new construction compared to some of the other buildings here. And as you enter the tavern, surprisingly, there's a few more people in here. It seems like kind of the late afternoon crowd of people have come in to the tavern. And as you do, you look behind and you see a rather young-looking Naga behind the bar. Very slim, has green and black patterns. They are mixing drinks, and as you watch, it is a very fancy setup that they have. They have a lot of different alcohols back behind them. Specifically, as you come in, they spin a bottle on one hand, toss it up, catch it, pour it over their shoulder into a bottle, shake it up, pour it out, and it is this amazing mixture of a blue and red swirling around in it, and they drop a single ice cube in it, and they slide it not just off of one of the bars, but it flies through onto another bar and lands to the patron.
Hell yeah. I want to go here.
That is what they look like.
Okay.
I want one.
What a little cutie.
They slide up to the edge of the bar and say, "Oh, hiya. Come on in. Nice to meet you.
Well, this
Call me
is...
Elliot."
Sorry, didn't catch that. What was it?
They slide out from behind the counter and come up to you, holding out their hands. Can call me Ellie. Elliot. Elliot's my name, but friends can call me Ellie.
She extends her hand, and she gives it a firm shake, and she says, "That was absolutely spectacular what you just did. I'm so glad to see something new and fresh really revitalizing this town. I truly appreciate it. What was that drink you just made? And would you mind making me one?"
Oh, yeah, I can make that for you anytime. It's a concoction of my own invention. I like coming up with kind of cool and new things. I'm still working on a name for it. This one's pretty new, but it uses this stuff called absinthe. It's a delicious drink. But I need to cut it with. I'm trying to get the right ratios for some of the bitters that I'm mixing in. They start going on to this whole technical rant about the alcohol, like
total mixologist nerd.
Yeah, mixologist nerd. Not in like the hipster way of acting like superior about it, but definitely like just somebody who really knows how
genuinely.
Yeah, and is genuinely excited that somebody is interested. And after explaining all of this, they kind of say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm kind of talking your ear off. Don't get many other Nagas in here, and it's nice to see somebody."
Gotta say, you're a sight for sore eyes.
"Oh, thanks." They kind of scratch behind their head and says, "So you're new in town?"
Yes, actually, and I was wondering, what about this for a name for a drink? How about Revenant Ranger?
Revenant Ranger. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, that's like in the storybooks. That's so cool. I love that.
She slowly shows the badge, and is like waiting for them to like get like that was code.
They look down at the badge and say, "Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
You have one of the badges? You read the books too? The dime novels are so good. I love them so much." Wait.
Oh,
wait.
Yeah, the novels are fantastic.
Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. And they lean in, get really quiet. "Are you one of them?"
No, but I'm a big super fan of the books, but you know, it'd be very interesting if you met someone who actually was. Do you ever have any patrons that come in here, kind of maybe seem like they might be, because that's kind of neat.
Oh man, yeah, they're so good though. You know, and they consider for a minute. They're McCord. He comes from Arizona Ranger. He has a badge and it has a shot through it. He said that it was like this thing of like some sort of Texas red or something. I don't remember, but that would be so cool.
So he also has a badge with a little bullet shot through it, like the ones in the books.
Yeah. I asked him about it the first time that he came in, but he said it was just, he was tracking somebody down and they shot him and he barely escaped with his life, which is just, that's so cool. Like,
I was gonna say this, you know what? I actually, so not only am I a fan of the novels, but I'm kind of writing my own. I was wondering, actually, if you could maybe direct me to that person. I'd love to hear their story and maybe make a little story out of it.
You know, he's usually here in town. He comes through fairly regularly. I bet. Ooh, I think he's probably in the area. If you come back, later in the evening, he might be around. You could talk to him then.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a mighty fine idea. And she downs the drink, and it's probably way better tasting than what she thought it was going to be, especially for absinthe. And she's going to go, all right, well, I actually got a few other people to interview, but it was very lovely meeting you, Miss, what was your name again? Corinne keeps forgetting.
It's, Elliot.
Elliot.
You can call me Ellie.
Ellie.
Yeah. If you want, and if you come by with some of your friends later, I have one of the side things that I like to do sometimes is, I've been told I'm a little bit, magical when it comes to making some drinks. I could make some very special drinks for you all.
Oh, you know what? That just sounds like a deal. I think we'll go ahead and we'll come on down and we'll order some special drinks just from you, Allie.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Are you staying at the with Miss Gray?
I'm gonna do a sense motive real quick.
8?
And nope. Totally fine.
They're just kind of acting a little weird. You're not sure what's going on.
Okay.
They seem a little bit jittery. They're kind of playing with the scales behind their head. They're tapping their fingernails on the table.
She doesn't confirm where she's staying at, but she's like, I gotta go, but I'll see you tonight, and I'll bring this, what was his name again?
McCord.
McCord. Okay, McCord.
Yeah, Ranger McCord.
Ranger McCord. Okay, thank you very much.
See you later. And they wave. As you're walking out, you see one of the patrons coming up to the bar, and they nudge Elliot. There's a bit of a laugh. Roll a perception check. 23. You overhear the person say, Ellie, no, you can't be flirting with all your customers. And Elliot just is bright red blush as you walk out.
Myra kind of like straightens her vest a little bit, and she's like, still got it. She like walks out. She's gonna head back to the room.
Awesome. It is about 10 minutes before the train is supposed to get there. Maz, you're still sitting up on the clock tower. Jasper and Myra, you're in the room with Carter. Bonesaw.
Bonesaw comes up from the wagon to the room where Myra and Jasper are at, and he's carrying a little tray with him. I think he left Goiter with the cart, and he says, "Oh, hello, my jolly good chaps, my best buckos. I care for a spot of tea." And he's got a tray with some little teacups on it.
I'm going to exchange glances with Myra. Like, okay, what the hell's going on?
Sense motive. Just for fun. Wow, it's bad. Just kidding.
Wow, that's a 5 from Myra.
She's not with it today.
Are you rolling anything, Jasper?
Yeah, well, no, I'm just looking and wondering why a cup of tea is still bubbling, even though it's just sitting in the cup.
It's a little fancy thing called carbonation. It's a new thing they're doing now.
I'm not going to sense motive. My attention is on the tea. What does this tea look like? Tea? Because the coffee did not look like coffee.
It looks like tea. Most tea looks like dishwater, right? So how are you really gonna tell? It doesn't smell unpleasant.
Well, I'll take a sip, but probably about 1/4 what you got in there, because a fella's got to watch his hydraulic intake, if you get my meaning.
Good for a parched throat. There you go, old chap. Myra, tea?
Yeah, sure, why not? I've hopefully this will help clear me up a little bit, because I've been doing some day drinking against my...
Ooh.
Yeah, Myra, you're definitely a little bit intoxicated. That was a strong fucking drink there.
Yeah, and she downed it in one go so she could get out of there, and that was a bad idea, so she...
Especially after a couple of shots of whiskey, you're definitely a little bit intoxicated at this point.
She did not think that one out, so she needs some pep, so she's like, okay, yeah. Oh, that's some tea. Yeah. Ooh. This tea looks neat. Takes a sip.
Carter says, I'll have a drink with you. I mean, might as well.
Oh, damn it! I forgot to bring you some. Let me just go fetch that. I'll be outside the door. Getting tea.
Nothing seems to be happening, Myra and Jasper.
Alrighty, well, yeah, I will carefully put a bookmark in my book where I was reading it, and I'll get back to that part later. It's just getting a little melancholy there at that point in time, and probably a good thing to take a break and have a little sip of tea. Yeah, I'm going to take a big sniff at this and kind of examine it. I'm going to pour out about 3/4 of it into a nearby potted plant, because I do not put too much liquid in this here body. It's got to last.
In that case, about a minute after the first sip, Myra,
Damn it.
make a fortitude save for me.
Why, Bonesaw? Why? Why you gotta do me like that? Okay.
11. Roll 1d3 for me.
Okay. 1d3.
3. Myra, you're sitting there, you've had the tea. You start to kind of feel a little bit woozy. There's what was in the... And boom, you hit the floor. You are unconscious.
And you could 100% convince her it was the alcohol, because she'd wake up and be like, oh yeah, I guess I really did drink a lot, and be none the wiser.
I'm going to look at Carter and say, and that's the dangers of day drinking.
I suppose you're right. Now, Jasper.
Yeah?
You and I have been friends for a few days now.
By a very stretched and loose definition of friend, sure.
He gives a low whistle. Something that you recognize, Bonesaw.
The door swings open and Bonesaw re-enters, leaning against the inside of the door. I would describe his expression, but it's under the mask. You can't really tell. He does not have any more tea.
Now, Jasper, I'm gonna say a little bit of something to you. You're gonna stand aside. I'm guessing your friend Myra here has... how long, my friend?
Oh, she's got about a minute.
Gotcha. Now, I'm a man of my word. While you're going to be taking care of her, I'm gonna give you a little something. Grindstone mining. Did some work with a gang a while back, running out wildcat miners. One of those groups ran with a tattoo of a black scorpion on the back. Better go help your friend.
Bonesaw? Are you in your right mind? I'm going to concentrate on peering through those smoky lenses to see if I can actually see eyes behind there and try and sense motive.
Make a perception check.
Okay. There's 34. There's a natural 20.
Ooh.
With a nat 20 and a 34. You can tell you've been with Bonesaw for a little while now.
Mm-hmm.
As you look at this person who's standing in front of you, they fill out the jacket perfectly. The mask fits perfectly. Everything fits perfectly in a way that it never fit Bonesaw. You're not sure who this is, but it is not Bonesaw, and you're pretty sure that this is somebody in disguise.
I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to unload my gun into this person who looks like Bonesaw.
Excellent.
Might need 2 doctors.
Make an attack against Bonesaw.
Okay. I would like to designate that person as my focus, giving me a
Excellent.
+4/+4.
Nice.
I'm going to go with the gray dust, just in case it might disrupt an illusion or something, because I have a feeling that this is Miss Kit Suni or something similar. Okay, here comes the gray dust revolver. 25 with the +4.
That definitely hits. It slams into him. He looks down at the bullet hole. That first attack does only 2 damage.
Actually, it would have done +4, so it would have been 6, but halved to 3 because it was gray dust.
Okay, 3 damage. It's a little odd hearing this voice come out of Bonesaw's visage. Now that's just rude. She pulls her own gun and points it at the unconscious Myra.
Oh, you dirty
man.
bastard. Coward.
Make a save for me, Myra. Another fortitude save.
Okay.
12. You are still sound asleep.
Okay.
Maz, give me a perception check.
Okay.
21. Excellent. You're looking out on the horizon, and as you do, coming from the south, the same direction that you all came from, you see a cloud of dust beginning to rise up.
Shit.
Off to the west, a little bit, you see another dust cloud rise up. And off to the southeast, you see another dust cloud rise up.
Oh. Damn it, Sheriff, I hate when you're right.
And then you hear a gunshot come from inside the inn.
What the hell is that?
And with that, everybody, roll for initiative.
Even me?
Yep, even you, Myra.
I'm so sorry. He made me do it.
Ooh, another nat 20.
But I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to see how long it was going to last, but the nat 20 was fortuitous.
That was very beautiful.
Still looks like Bonesaw, wearing all of Bonesaw's stuff.
All right, so there was no concentration check or anything like that, then I take it to whatever disguise was going on here. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Fuck. I'm gonna need so many turns just to set up what I have.
From what you can see, Maz, it looks like it'll probably take a little while for any of the groups to get there.
Okay.
All right, so Jasper,
Yeah.
you're sitting there. You see Bonesaw a la Vic standing there with a knife and a gun out. The gun is pointing at Myra right now.
All right. First of all, is this the door of the room right here? Did she have a chance to close it?
Yes, she is standing in front of the door. And yes, the door is closed.
Does this vanity here give Myra any cover since she is theoretically prone?
Yes, from that angle, she would have partial concealment.
Okay, last question. Is it a viable mechanic to attempt to overbear and push somebody out of the room?
Yeah, specifically, it is a bull rush. It is a action that would provoke an attack of opportunity from her, and she is armed with a knife so she can take attacks of opportunity.
Alrighty, then that is what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm going to try and bull rush her. I know I'm probably going to take a bullet over this, but I'm going to get her away from Myra out into the room, and I'm going to be yelling my dang fool head off. Somebody fetch a doctor double quick! There's an escape attempt up here, and someone's been poisoned. There's a snake in my boot, and somebody's poisoned the well.
Jasper's such a solid guy.
Roll a CMB attack.
22. Nice.
You rush to try and push her back, and as you do, she just slams you up against the wall and stabs you right in the gut with this. It honestly looks like a gladius. It is this weird old metal sword. She stabs you right in the gut and gives
ouch.
you 6 points of damage. And she does not take that attack.
Well, at least I am providing Myra with some cover here.
Bonesaw, you start to rub your head. Something's not right. You went into your wagon and Somebody clocked you on the back of the head.
It wasn't the real Bonesaw. I knew it.
You start to wiggle around and you realize you're tied up in your wagon.
Bonesaw sits up with a gasp, and his hands go to his face, looking for his mask. Is it there?
His hands are tied behind him.
Oh, damn it.
Right now.
But he can feel his face!
He can feel his face. He doesn't have his mask. In fact, he is buck naked right now.
Oh, nasty image.
No! Ah! Goita, are you there?
You see a jar on the shelf. Bloop,
No!
Goita, knock off the acid! Get it on the ropes!
bloop. The bottle shatters. The ropes start burning.
That's probably a turn.
Yeah, that's your turn. You're starting to escape. Myra, make a fortitude save for me,
Okay.
please.
Hey.
26. Myra, you begin to stir. You're not feeling good, but you begin to wake up. You are effectively awake. You are prone and on the ground,
Christ.
but you are awake.
She just rubs her head.
You all begin to hear gunfire from outside, specifically coming from the east. Maz, you see a group of riders coming in. They look like they're probably still about 2 turns out.
Shit.
Coming from the west. From your position on the clock tower, it's up to the northwest.
Okay. Do I need to raise the alarm further, or does everyone already know?
Give me a sense motive,
Okay.
just for the general vibe of the town.
Low.
7. A single gunshot in this town? Yeah, they'll be fine. They should be lickety-split on top of it.
Okay. I am going to ignite the western lantern with a small 3d6 fireball. My last one left. How much sound does a fireball make?
Fireball is going to make a pretty hefty boom when you fire it.
So that is multi-purpose then. So I will ignite a lantern with a very large explosion that is hooked up to a rope.
So, the DC to hit this is 5.
Mm-hmm.
But you rolled a nat 1
Oh!
with your
Fuck.
fireball.
No!
What does that mean?
That means I'm drawing from the deck. You launch the fireball, and as you're throwing it, because you're hucking it down, instead of going straight, it seems to curve, and it detonates much earlier than you were expecting, right near the edge of the city hall. And as it does, shrapnel flies in all directions. And one of them goes right through your leg.
Shit.
Roll 1d2 for me.
No. 2.
You take 2 points of dex damage,
Dex damage.
and your speed is reduced by half until you are healed.
Shit.
Holy moly.
However, a massive fire explosion has alerted people to something going on in town.
Okay.
The lantern is sitting there cold.
So I missed?
Yes, you missed.
Fuck.
Yeah. It was a very easy DC, but you hit a nat 1.
Oh my god.
Alright, Carter. Carter looks at you, Jasper, and says, "Doesn't have to go down like this. Don't want anybody to get hurt." And he slams and he turns and he kicks at the wall behind him.
Okie dokie.
He does it a couple of times, like a boom, boom. The windows behind him shatter, and the wall itself begins to crack a little bit as he's kicking it. The dust cloud coming from the south is moving much, much quicker.
Great.
They look like they are riding hard and fast.
Fuck.
They look like they're going to be in town in the next turn. Another set approaches. Oof, they're not going to be there for a long time, okay? They're not going to be there for a long time either. Okie doke. It is down to Vic's turn. Now, you are no longer unconscious, Myra.
Okay.
You're lucky because she was going to attempt a coup de grace on you.
Oh shit.
A coup de grace!
But you are no longer helpless. She is going to take a 5-foot step You do have your bite attack that you can do from prone. You take a penalty from attacking from prone, but you get an attack of opportunity as she approaches to attack you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gonna munch on them boots. It's a nat 1.
A nat 1 on a natural attack.
We're gonna die.
I'm so sorry. You realize you're not going to give quarter to Vic. It is all or nothing. You take a -1 penalty on all attack rolls until you score a critical hit.
Oh.
Fuck it, let's do it. Tunnel of fun, let's do it.
And once again, this still looks like Bonesaw. Myra, as far as you're concerned,
It might as well be Bonesaw.
it is Bonesaw approaching you with a revolver and a sword.
Oh yeah, no, she's... her life is in danger. She's gonna bite.
That hits. That hits. That misses. In fact, that's a nat 1. Oh, jeez. She stabs down at you, Myra. Once, twice. You're gonna take a total of 39 points of damage.
Oh!
Fuck.
But as she shoots, it wings out of the window. It ricochets pew, 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 out. There's a bit of silence. Then you hear a... Something got shot.
It's not funny, but it's just... poor horse. Just a smash cut to a little horse just like sitting there bored, eating some grass.
They're still coming. They're still coming. And that's the first round. Jasper, you're up.
Jasper looks at this person across from him and says, I don't know what you done with the real Bonesaw, and you may think you got us outnumbered, but I know something you don't know. Kick her, Smokey.
Yes!
He tosses a tiny little figurine.
Yes!
Okay.
Kick them both out.
Smokey has entered the battle right behind Vic, but I'm going to say that Smokey's going to get a surprise attack on Vic, specifically because that is such a fucking insane pull.
All right. And I think Smokey actually will probably bite. Bite her!
Oh, shit! It's a nat 20.
Jesus.
Okay.
That's my third nat 20 of the evening. Ah!
That is
Give me some of that luck.
okay. The bite does bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Wow.
So you can either do that 6 damage, and for the next 1d4 rounds, Vic will have a 20% miss chance, just flat out.
Okay.
You can do the 15 damage and 1 point of bleed damage, and an additional point of bleed damage until healed. Or 1d4 points of con damage, and 1d6 points of bleed, and that 15.
What? You should do that last one, though.
I'll take that then. I'll take the recommendation there.
Okay.
Good girl, Smokey.
Smokey the assassin horse.
Ninja horse. Never see it coming.
Call it a smoke bomb.
Oof. That's bad. She just lost a lot of max HP.
Heck yeah. Con damage for the
Oh,
win.
wow.
Didn't she just stab the hell
wow.
out of...
Tit for tat. Tit
Yeah.
for tat. That's how the dice rolls.
Yeah.
Bet Blake is regretting that surprise attack.
3 con for if she's close to eye level, that's probably like 24 something just off her total.
Yeah, that's way worse than what I got. I can just heal myself, but con damages.
She cannot heal above that until she heals.
Okay. Oh, look, she's bleeding. Hey, getting it all over my horse.
Yeah, Smokey just appears and, like, bites a massive chunk out of her belly, and just, like, it looks like she disemboweled this poor bandit.
Jesus. I'm gonna have to
Man,
fuck with
terror
Smokey.
horse.
Bonesaw, you're up.
Bonesaw takes his bucket of water that he keeps next to his experiment table and dumps it over himself to get the worst of the acid off. And he's just scrambling for like fabric or anything that he can kind of cover himself in, because as he throws open the cart door, the light hits him. He normally has his mask to kind of protect from the brightness, and he has light sensitivity, so he like blinks and makes a face and rubs his eyes and kind of tries to swathe his face in whatever fabric he's found, and he says, Goita, go up high, look for it!
Most of like your equipment that wasn't directly like this is costume piece of hat, mask, and duster was just tossed to the back of the wagon.
Okay.
Does Moz see this?
Roll a perception check, Moz.
Okay.
Nat 1.
Is that another one? Come on!
That's another nat 1.
I am stealing all the numbers.
Fucking hell. That's 2 in a row. That's a 1 in 400 chance.
Did Maz see the windows of the hotel explode outward?
I'm going to say at this point, no. Not with that. Moz is focused on the incoming people.
Fucking hell.
Okay. Bonesaw is shivering so hard he's practically quaking, and he's kind of raking his hands up and down his arms, just trying to hold it together while like Goiter's looking for the mask.
Yeah, roll a perception check for Goiter.
A 14?
Goiter sees the shattered glass on this little veranda roof on the far side of the inn.
Okay.
That's the most that Goiter gets. Myra, you're up.
Okay, she's kind of like dizzy, and then all of a sudden she sees the horse just bite Vic to pieces. She's gonna pull out her rifle. She's just gonna do a regular shot.
You point the gun right at her gut and take the shot. You actually see the blood and bullet splatter against the wall. She comes in with her sword, knocks your gun aside, grabs you right behind the shoulder, and just rips right down along your arm. And you're going to take 14 points of damage.
One
Holy
hit point.
Bro.
Bam.
Jeez.
I should have taken
And
that.
Carter's chilling.
I should have gotten that goddamn healing potion. Ah!
Nothing I can do here.
Okay.
Dang it.
Moz, you can see the folks coming in from the west and the one coming in directly to the south along the same path that you guys came in initially are getting very close. They look like they're going to arrive next round.
Great.
And they're riding hard and fast.
Okay. Because my speed is halved, I cannot get into the exactly optimal point of where I need to stand. Taking one of my 3 fireballs left, I am going to toss a second fireball down at the western lantern and hope to God that it finds its mark and doesn't hurt me.
Okay, like I said last time, the DC to hit these is 5. Unless you hit a nat 1, you're not going to miss. There is a massive fireball that immediately lights that entire area on fire.
Nice. I'm also gonna move. The western lantern is ignited with some special fire.
What does it do, though? What does it do?
As the fireball explodes, one of the closest horses rears up and the rider on it falls off backwards.
Oh my goodness, look at that fire.
That's the size of your fireball.
As it should be.
Yes. Carter's going to lean over and reach into Vic's bag and pulls out a healing potion. Looks at Jasper, looks at Myra, and says, "Now you're gonna let me and Vic walk out of here. And if you do, we give Myra this potion. She's gonna be fine. You all can follow us if you really want to get hurt again. Or we can make a nice show of this. Disagree?" And he pops the cork off and holds it sideways.
I glance at Vic. Is she eyeing this healing potion hungrily?
While she is looking bad and she's kind of holding her stomach, she's on the offensive. Her gun and sword are pointed at Myra right now.
How about you feed that to her and I don't fill your friend here full of lead? Or don't he care about you, sweetheart?
Vic looks at you and says, "This man has saved my life more times than you can count." I trust him to do what's best for all of us.
As long as you're still convenient for him, sweetheart.
Carter says, last chance. I know this is not what you wanted, Myra.
Go to hell, Carter. Go to hell.
He dumps out the potion on the ground. And he's going to kick the wall one more time.
Myra's making all sorts of bad decisions today.
It won't necessarily be pretty, and he will probably scrape himself up going out of it. But it looks like one more good, solid kick he will be able to fit through.
Was reaching into Vic's pouch, pulling out a potion and pouring it out anything that might trigger an attack of opportunity?
Oh, you know what? Yes, both Smokey and Myra are going to get attacked of opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you, Jasper.
You're welcome.
She goes like to bite it.
Nice.
21. You bite, but as you do, his hoof sneaks out barely, because you have a -4 penalty because you're attacking
Damn
from
it.
the ground.
Damn it.
He rears up and says, thought we had an understanding, Myra.
Yeah,
I wanted this all to be good.
so did I.
Could have just laid down your gun.
Smokey, introduce this fellow to the concept of gravity. Smokey's going to turn around and do a double-hoofed kick to push him out through what remains of the wall and watch him tumble to the ground, hopefully, if this works.
Do a CMB for me.
Okay. 21.
21.
I love Smokey.
Smokey slams into Carter and pushes him back up against the wall, and it cracks, but he's not quite able to get pushed through. He does take a little bit of damage. Moz, you actually begin to hear shouts going up throughout the city like, "Order attack! Grab the guns! Schnell, schnell!" You actually do hear somebody shouting out in German.
Carter, you ain't going to make it 20 feet out of this town.
Oh, you know what they say. Better to die a legend than the end of some penguin's noose. Even if I do die in this town, I'll be a legend. And I'll be going out on my terms, not the terms of the railroad.
Damn it, I hate him, but I love him so much.
Wow. Dying as you live, full of illusions.
They get their next round. They have 2 more rounds. That brings us to Vic's turn. She's pissed at Smokey for biting her.
Oh, man. Shooting a horse. That's against the code of the West, you know.
She shifts down, and suddenly the green ears become pointed canine ears and much shorter all of a sudden. You realize she has shifted back into her kitsune form.
What happens with all the Bonesaw accoutrements?
Bonesaw's pretty tall, actually.
Like 7 feet.
She's basically 4 feet tall, so it all kind of sloughs off pretty quickly. The mask is now hanging kind of off to the side, having slipped down. She gives a wicked grin, and let's do bite, shot, stab, stab.
A whirlwind.
Everybody's already used their attacks of opportunity. She leans down and bites at your throat, Myra, and rips. And you start to feel yourself blacking out. She does 3 points of damage to you.
Yep, she is unconscious.
She whips around with her little gladius, slices at you, Jasper, slashes again. You're only going to take 4 points of damage from those 2 attacks. And then she turns and just fucking shoots Smokey for 3 points of damage. Myra is now bleeding out.
God dang it. Bonesaw, where are you?
Can I roll perception to hear that?
Yeah, go ahead, roll perception.
Please, please, please. 25!
Yeah, you definitely hear him.
Jasper! Jasper, do you have my mask?
It's up here next to Myra's bleeding out body. Get your undead bony ass up here.
It is now Smokey's turn.
Smokey's going to try and do what he was just trying to do. He's going to try and kick Carter out the remains of that wall.
Okay, at this point, pretty much any attack is going to break through the wall. The CMD is more to see if it's going to actually shove Carter up and out and down.
Okay. Boop. Oh, crap. Smokey! Bad horse!
Unfortunately, it does shove Carter back, and it does break the wall, and it does hurt him, but it doesn't shove him down.
All right.
Carter is on the edge of the building. The building is kind of broken out. He still has to, like, make jumps and run. That is going to be them. They have 2 more turns. They're up next turn. They're up next turn. And that brings us to Jasper.
All right. He's going to look at the kitsune and say, that was a real dumb thing to do. And he's going to unload both weapons in her this time. This one is a regular revolver bullet, and this is +4 to hit, +4 damage. So that is a 28 to hit for 8 points of bludgeoning and piercing.
Ooh. Yeah, the first attack definitely hits. Second attack does hit for 3 damage. Excellent. She's still, like, yeah, she's shot up and disemboweled, but she still looks like she has a hell of a lot of fight in her.
Fucking hell.
So do I.
Bonesaw, you're up.
Does Bonesaw see the horde of enemies coming in?
Yeah.
Bonesaw is focused on himself, I'm sorry.
No worries. Just,
Okay, Bonesaw reaches into the wagon and grabs Spider Climb, and he's gonna chug it real quick and skitter up the side of the building.
Okay. You could have grabbed your entire thing of extracts that you haven't with you.
Okay, just sling the bandolier over the top. I'm coming!
Holds the bed sheet in place.
Ain't got no time to go around the whole building. I'll be there in 5 turns and Myra will be dead.
You take that, and you'll be able to make a move. What is your run speed when you're spider climbing?
The speed of a spider.
Gains a climb speed of 20 feet and a +8 racial bonus on climb skill checks.
Okay, you're casting the spell, so you can only move 20 feet. But you climb up to the 2nd floor. You're just below the top floor.
Heck. Are they 3 floors up?
Yes, they're 3 floors up. Myra,
I'm so sorry.
make a constitution check for me.
Go on without me. Con check.
At a -2 penalty. If you hit a DC 10, you become stable and you're not bleeding out.
Alright, so I rolled a 15.
-2 is 13. You are now stable.
Yay! Don't worry about me, guys.
Which means you are unconscious.
But not dying. Yay. Okay.
Oh, well, I'm going to have a smoke then.
She'll be fine. She'll wake up in an hour.
That was a close one.
Now, finally, Moz. You see the first group of people actually making their approach.
okay.
They're riding on horses. They look rough and ready. There's only 2 of them, but they're firing their guns up into the air. Causing a lot of noise and drawing a lot of attention to themselves.
What about the south? Weren't they supposed to arrive at the same time?
They're in the order, and they arrive after your turn.
Okay. How many people are coming from the south?
It looks like 4 people. You can do a perception check to see more information if you want.
Yeah, I also would like to do a perception check to see the naked zombie climbing up the side of the building I'm supposed to be protecting. I think that's kind of important.
Listen,
But,
he's
it's-
wrapped in fabric. It's a quick job, but
From where you're at, you see a mostly naked zombie climbing up the wall. You see the people coming in from the west. They look pretty rough and like outlaw types. With a 16 specifically, because you beat a 15, you can tell the 4 that are coming in from the south. They're wearing black, have masks pulled up, and wearing low-slung hats. But the hats are purple. They look like they're gnolls.
Shit. Blackbirds. Okay. Do I recognize the zombie as Bonesaw?
Yeah, you've been, yeah.
Okay.
You don't know his face or his body type, but seeing the kind of trail of stuff coming out of the cart.
Yeah. Put 2 and 2 together.
plus
Yeah.
Goiter's flapping around him at this point.
Okay.
Faithful Goiter.
Bones! You look different.
They took my mask, they took it. Jasper has it, I need to get to it.
Moz is gonna get to the other corner of the clock tower. He's gonna throw a second fireball and ignite the 2 lanterns at the southern and the southeast exits. It should
Okay.
ignite the 2 lanterns that are covering those entrances, respectively.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and roll it.
I'll be honest, I don't remember entirely where they were at off the top of my head.
I have the schematic pulled up.
Yeah.
I have the range is dialed in. So
You made a schematic?
a bit. Sure, we'll call it that. It's more like a 3D model, but we'll all the things are ignited, and I have one fireball to my name on my necklace.
You light this on fire. You hear alarm bells going throughout the town, and you only rolled a 16 on your perception, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Not quite enough.
Great.
Oh my god, Zach.
Holy cow.
Sorry, I just saw the diagram. I don't understand it, but I'm very impressed.
Maz has a plan. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
There's circles where they need to be.
Carter is going to make a strength check. That is an 18, and he pulls Vic up and slings her over his back. He's gonna run away. So Smokey's definitely going to get an attack of opportunity.
Then let's try that one more time,
Okay.
because it's worked so well up till now. 23.
That's not quite enough. As Smokey begins to push him out, he jumps down to the veranda below. If I roll above a 60, it collapses. If I roll below a 60, it stands. And he keeps running.
98.
You all see Carter gives a small salute. This cheeky little, like, see you around, partner. Jumps. And then
Smack dab through the floor.
Myra doesn't see it, but you hear her chuckle a little bit from beyond the grave.
that's going to be a 3d6 to both him and Vic as they both fall down all the way to the ground.
Vic still has my mask.
Yep.
Oh, look at
Holy
that!
shit!
Fuck.
The number of the beast.
Max damage.
That is maximum fall damage.
Jesus.
His head hits a bar on the way down.
Yeah, Vic hits a bar. One of the posts that's from this crumbling veranda collapses, falls, impales Vic. Carter lands. You hear the snapping of one of his ankles.
Ooh. Not so smug now.
Vic is yelling up
Oh
a
my
storm.
god.
That was like a Jack Burton moment right there. Big Trouble in Little China. See you around, pal.
Okay, excellent. It's at this point that the ones coming in from the south arrive, and as stated, they are Gnolls.
Okay.
All of them have their shotguns out. 2 of them are carrying sticks of dynamite. 2 of them are carrying bottles with fire in them.
Bottles with fire, you say?
Yes.
Ah.
They're carrying Molotov cocktails.
Maz likes.
Yeah, I thought you would. All right. They had to spend their whole turn getting closer. They have one more turn until they arrive. Vic takes another 3 points of bleed damage from that same bleed. They're both definitely prone, so it's going to stand up, and then it's going to spend her turn to pull out a potion, and heals 13 points of damage. And is no longer bleeding. Smokey, you're up.
Smokey, I'm going to point at Myra and tell Smokey, rescue. Get her to Bonesaw.
Does Smokey know the get help trick?
Where we toss Loki at the guards.
Help her!
No, Smokey, we are not doing get help.
Myra's body just flies out the window. Save her!
I don't know. What's the difference between rescue and get help?
This gets the creature out of danger. If they know the get help trick, you can designate somebody as the help.
Oh, I missed that provisional bit there. I don't think so.
All right, roll an acrobatics check, and then roll just a pure 1d20 luck check. So that's going to be for Smokey to kind of fit through the doorway as a large creature.
10.
Exactly what you needed. And now roll a 1d20. If it is higher than a 10, gonna drag Myra towards the room that Bonesaw is outside of. If it's less than that, Smokey's gonna try and drag her downstairs.
Ka-tunk, ka-tunk, ka-tunk.
10. That's exactly what you needed. Smokey drags Myra out of the room and into the side room that Bonesaw, you are just below. You'll be able to get up into that room next
Damn,
turn.
the stairs would have been hilarious.
Bum, 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 bum. They spent their turn getting there. They spent their turn getting there. They spent their turn getting there, which means we're back up to Jasper.
All right, Jasper is going to run to the window. What kind of a view do I have down there?
Prior to this, you had a little veranda that was just above the second floor. Would have been a nice little step-down point to be able to jump to the roof of the next building over. As you look at it, it's a 30-foot drop down to the ground floor, as you are on the third floor right now. Carter's laying on the ground, just looks all beat to hell, looking up just kind of like, that did not go to plan. Vic has stood up and is collecting herself, still wearing Bonesaw's mask.
I see. Carter, your leg kind of looks like this. And Vic, I'd like to say something about fish and barrels now, and I'm going to shoot at her. So that is going to be a regular bullet, and God, I guess it's going to be an electric mage shot.
Oh shit. They are slightly outside of your 20-foot range.
Okay.
So you're going to take a penalty to your shots. Just a -2, but both of those miss. So you take the shots, the bullets impact right around Vic, but she manages to duck down, pick up a piece of wood, and get out of the way enough.
All right.
Then it is Bonesaw's turn.
Bonesaw's gonna crawl through the window to where Myra is laying kind of bloody and dazed next to Smokey. Oh, I guess I will change my token now. And there we go.
You've not taken care of yourself.
Myra looks up to see this partially fabric-wrapped zombie covering the important bits.
Am I in hell?
There is no nose. It's just kind of the nasal cavity you would see on a skull, and there's a chunk of flesh kind of ripped off the front of his teeth. His skin is green throughout, and he has these piercing yellow eyes, and the rest of the skin on his face is just kind of shrunken around it in a skull-like fashion. He's got a couple
Yikes.
patches of hair still left on the skull. Myra, what did they do to you? From the bandolier he has slung quickly around his shoulder, he pulls out one of his extracts, pops it open, and puts it in her mouth, and he says, Myra, listen to me. This is very important. Did you see where my mask went? Is it with Jasper? Does he have it? Is it in the next room?
Bonesaw, where?
Myra! He shakes her.
Bonesaw, you stabbed me.
And I'll do it again if you don't tell me where the mask is.
I think you...
Bonesaw's eyes are darting around. He kind of flinches like he sees something behind him and turns his head rapidly and then goes back to Myra.
Would I have seen where they would have gone? Because she was unconscious when that whole thing with Carter happened.
No, she would just know that it was in the other room.
It was in a different room. It was in a different room. Weren't you in the other room?
Different room? Where, Myra?
That, I don't know. Different room. That room. I think she gets it now that wasn't the real Bonesaw, as the real Bonesaw is now shaking her awake, asking for the mask. So, she's like, other room. How much healing, by the way?
17.
Hey, thank you.
Nice.
Bonesaw takes off.
You see Jasper and a giant hole in the wall.
Jasper! Where's my fucking mask?
Right down there on the bleeding fox lady.
That's all I can do this turn.
And I would appreciate it if you would make her dead.
Bonesaw is just gonna die from the third floor and choke slam Vic.
Myra, you're up. And you're alive. You're no longer bleeding out.
Hey, lesson learned. Okay, she's gonna take that healing potion. Cure moderate wounds. 2d8 plus whatever the caster level is, so 21. Excellent. Yay! Okay, she's up and going. Okay, so she takes the potion and then she's actually gonna start climbing up the side of the building. She wants to get up on the roof.
You see the Gnolls coming in from the south side, and you see people coming in from the west.
And I see Carter and Vic on the ground.
They're on the other side of the building,
Gotcha.
so you don't see them. Maz. You have 3 people at the west, right near your lit lantern. 4 people to the south near your lit lantern.
I thought there's 2 to the west.
The third guy just caught up.
Great. Do I see anyone from the southeast yet?
You do see them. They look like they're going to be arriving this turn.
Okay. Is there anyone to the west who can defend that portion?
You actually look and you see sticking out of this low stucco building right next to Silent Joe's shack, place that you know from the map is the mailroom, you see a long rifle sticking out of one of the windows.
Okay. I will help out the western flank, which currently is partially guarded, but Myra can start picking off the people down low. Maz is going to do a little peppy tune, and he is going to invigorate the lantern that is positioned at the western flank so bright to the point where it becomes this massive firework, and it is going to blind everyone in the area.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Lots of light.
Everybody hears a massive explosion coming from the west side as fireworks blast and just pew. The horses buck all of their riders off, and they are bolting. You have completely unseated these people.
Good.
Carter, he's going to stand up, and he tests out the hoof a little bit. It's bad, but he can still move on it. He's going to pick up Vic again and put her on his back. That's all he's going to be able to do this turn. Next up is a blind person. Next up is one of the Gnolls. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bonesaw.
I'm inside. No!
Oh no!
No!
The Gnoll runs past towards your horse, holding your wagon.
No!
And is gonna shoot your horse.
Oh, I don't care about the horse.
Oh my goodness.
I thought you were gonna light the wagon on fire.
Yeah, that's the thing though.
Horses can be replaced, Blake.
It's a dragon's breath shot.
Shit.
Fuck! Would that also make the horse count as a source of flame?
Depends on if it succeeds on this save, because it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna hit both of those horses because of the cone.
Fuck.
Both Andrew and William Wallace?
Oh no. Both of the horses light on fire as they explode as this gnoll just launches fire, and there are now 2 dead, burned horses.
Fucking hell. Okay, I care about the horses. Bonesaw doesn't care about the horses, but I do.
I feel really bad, and I'm sorry, but they're both dead and on fire.
Oh no.
But one of them was yelling freedom as he died.
What about the cart?
Cart is okay. The angle that he shot it at, they did not hit him.
Generous. Why did he... What sort of person comes into town and shoots at the horses?
Gnolls.
The sheriff is like a street over.
You see the rifle that's in the mail, and one of the people, an entire side of their face just is ripped off
Go Terry.
at this close
Fuck
range.
yeah.
And they fall to the ground dead. Alright, that's the second Blackburn Gnoll. This one is one of the ones carrying fire. It's gonna get right up there, and it's gonna toss an alchemist fire onto your wagon.
Why are they attacking
And you just had it freshly oiled.
Because they recognize it.
Oh, damn it. Do I hear explosions from the direction of my wagon?
Yes, you do.
Heckity heck.
Only does 1d6 points of fire damage to your wagon, but it is on fire. You hear a commotion coming from the direction of the cemetery as some people arrive. And finally, you hear somebody coming from the southeast. It is now Vic's turn. Vic is on the back of Carter. Carter leans over to Vic and whispers something. She appears to argue with him for a second. And then she turns and points up at you, Jasper.
Okay.
Points a revolver and fires. Roll a sense motive.
Okay.
Ah, that one!
No.
You know why she's shooting at you. She's trying to kill you.
Okay.
It missed you. It hit, like, the wood around you.
You missed me!
Maz and Myra, give me a perception check. 16 and 18. That is good enough for both of you to notice. On the roof of the Three Klops Theater, you see an odd-looking creature. It looks animalistic and humanoid. It has the head of a dog, almost, it looks like, but the body of a very fit person. They're holding a gun and a whip, from what it looks like, and they're watching the people riding into town.
Alright.
For my imagination, is the body of a fit person also covered in fur, like it's a anthropomorphic dog, or...
Yeah.
Okay, they weren't, like,
Anthropomorphic dog.
stitched together.
From the distance that they're at, it looks very much like their skin is gleaming with a bronze sheen. Like, it looks like a very bright metal. Smokey.
Oh, God. Smokey was supposed to drag Myra to safety, but Myra has climbed out a window. Smokey, without further orders, will probably return to Jasper.
Okay. One of the Gnolls is going to ride straight into town at a full run. As it gets within striking distance of the roof, Maz and Myra, you see that bronze dog figure on the top leans over the edge and whips the whip down and wraps it around the Gnoll's neck
Yes. Ally.
and rips them off the back of their horse.
Oh, shit.
Fuck
My
yeah.
hero!
Is that a horse that's for sale? I see.
That is a horse that is running free.
Poor horses.
It's a free-range horse.
Oof, that was brutal. And they are now being suffocated because they are hanging there. You all hear some gunfire coming from the direction of the cemetery. And then it is the Blackbird Gnolls' turn. They actually see you at the top, Maz. And this one just looks, smirks, and takes a shot at you. Definitely not within 30 feet. Like, it is a long shot. It's probably going to miss. It's more of a, like, I'm doing
see
this
you.
because I can.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What?
So that 20.
It should not have hit. They were barely looking, but they point and they just... and it rips right through your gut.
Fucking hell. Maz with the fantastic luck.
Yeah.
How much damage?
That's gonna be 42 points of damage.
Oh my god!
42!
Holy
Crits
shit.
with guns do 4 times damage.
Holy fuck! Oh,
Okay, we can do this.
shit.
We can do this.
Okay. That hurts.
That was the top of the round. At this point, everybody, you hear a... as you see a train arrive in the station.
Your ride's here, Carter!
Oh, don't tell him that. Keep it a secret.
Around a Jasper.
All right, can I, in one turn, drop my guns, cast a spell, and draw my rifle from the scabbard on Smokey?
Yes, dropping the guns is a free action, and then casting the spell is a standard action, and then drawing your rifle is a move action.
All right. I say, Smokey, you're here in good time. I hope that Maz is okay, I say with a pointed look at Bonesaw. Your mask is down there, and rifle in one hand, Jasper reaches into his pocket with the other, pulls out a fistful of bullets, throws them up in the air, and they start circling in. And I am going to cast... Boom!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Because I have a feeling this is not over.
You throw these up into the air, and they're circling around you. You now have plus 10 to your AC versus incoming fire.
Yep.
Wow.
For up to 4 shots.
Up to 4 shots.
Dang.
Fuck, that is awesome.
That's amazing.
Bonesaw, it's your turn.
Bonesaw is going to pop another vial open and drink his extract of fly.
Extract of fly.
How'd you milk their tiny bodies?
Used a tiny stool.
No! What a horrifying image.
Tweezers.
Bonesaw starts to hover in the air and, following Jasper's pointing, shoots through the broken pane of the window straight towards Vic. He just dives towards her.
Ooh.
He's gonna try to grab his mask.
I don't think you're going to be able to do that this turn with your move.
Narratively, then.
Yes. All right. Myra.
Okay. Do I see Maz absolutely get gutted?
Yes, you definitely saw that.
Okay, where's the motherfucker who did it?
That would be this guy who's sitting on top of the horse.
Okay. She's gonna do a full round rifle shot at him.
Ooh, those are good shots.
All my attacks are -1, though.
Until you crit, yeah.
Okay.
The second one does not hit.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So yeah, 7 points of damage.
Okay. It still looks like you got this guy's attention.
Hey, fucker!
Half the town turns, yeah?
She's mad.
Mighty kind of you, Myra.
She's so fucking mad. She is done with people right now.
I will say, these gnolls do not look nearly as beefy as the ones you fought the other night.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that it will not take much to force them to flee. This guy's going to stumble out. He is still blind. What's the save?
They're blind for 1d4 plus 1 rounds, will negates.
Okay. What's the DC?
16.
16? Okay, this guy comes out of the forest. He's looking pretty rough. He rubs his eyes and seems like he's doing better now that he's out. He's gonna take a shot at the place where he just got shot from. It misses because of that total cover that he's at. Maz, you're up.
Well, I do not appreciate over half of my health getting taken out by one stray bullet, so I am going to ignite the southern lantern with the massive fireworks, and we're just gonna move this big ol' sucker down.
God!
Yeah, you see why I needed a diagram.
Yeah. All of the gnolls and their horses suddenly are blinded because they're looking at you playing up on top, and they're all like pointing and like, hey, what's he doing? What's he doing? Hey, that was a good shot, dude. Like, that was a good boom, fireworks. Just they're all blinded.
That's like a full quarter of the town.
Yeah,
Jesus
no.
Christ.
It's fucking huge.
So that should actually perfectly cut out all of the gnolls and leave out Myra and me.
Yeah, all of these guys are blind, and it looks like you have spooked them.
You're amazing.
Holy shoot.
Damn.
The sheriff sees all.
Alright, Carter can do 140.
He does have a gimpy leg.
I'm gonna say that cuts 20 feet off of his run speed.
Is Vic on his back still?
Yes, Vic is on his back as he begins to dash away. You all hear shouts as he runs past. You see Sheriff Catalina is standing there, shotgun in hand.
So, if I was on Vic and Vic was on Carter, do I get an attack of opportunity?
Do you have a melee attack?
I have zombie claws.
Then yes.
Bonesaw winds up and he says, "Don't you dare take her away from me!"
That definitely hits and does 5 points of damage. I'm gonna have her roll a reflex save. She barely, you see her start to fall off, but Carter catches her. The DC was 15, she rolled a 15. She is still on his back. Another one makes his way stumbling out, also begins to rub his eyes. He winds up and boom, shoots a lightning bolt and takes a chunk out of the rock of that building. That brings us to the Gnoll. After being blinded and shot at, and generally not being a very brave person, decides they'd rather take their chances elsewhere. Now, because they're blinded, can somebody please roll a 1d8 for me?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Full round run. Straight into a rock wall. Boom! Horse and person are hurt.
Oh no.
Terry takes a shot. Somebody roll 1d8 again for me, please.
7.
This one, from their position, goes dashing, trips, but isn't quite going to fall.
Ah, they're lining up for me. How nice.
You hear the sound of a fireball going off, coming from the church area.
Shit.
And then a sound of gunfire.
Ah, shit.
Myra, coming from the southeast, a blaze of fire runs right over your head.
Jesus!
You hear a bellow coming from the direction of the church, and the sound of electricity, followed shortly by the report of a shotgun.
What is going on over there? Vic,
sitting on the back of Carter, is going to take some shots at the sheriff.
She wouldn't dare.
From across town. You hear a string of Spanish curses going out as she is winged. Once again, Myra and Moz, you see that creature that's on the roof lean over, still holding up the rope, leans down, points the gun straight at this thing's head, pull the trigger, and it falls to the ground.
Damn.
Remind me to buy him a drink.
Smokey.
Okay, Smokey has horseshoes of the Zephyr. Is there any way that can allow me to get down from here on Smokey's back, or is that just for, like, running across surfaces and such?
I will say, you'll have to mount up and move on your turn, but you'll be able to do what Carter was trying to do without having to make a check of basically going from the roof that you're on down to the roof across the way, and then the rest of the way.
Alrighty. So I have line of sight on wherever Carter is over here.
Yes.
If I have Smokey hold her turn to wait for me to mount up, and then with her movement on my turn cross to here, would I have enough action economy to still cast a spell?
Yes.
Alright.
Basically what happens once you mount up, Smokey will act on your turn.
Okay, I say, Smokey, get ready.
This is the Blackburn Gnoll that is on the ground. They're sleepy. You hear more gunfire coming from the direction of the church. These guys to the southwest, actually. Myra, make a sense motive check for me.
Okay. Oh, my sense motive is
7.
so bad.
As they are taking pot shots at you, I mean, they're obviously trying to kill you as they're moving away.
Motherfuckers.
Somebody give me another 1d8 roll, please.
1.
Boom, 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 right into the edge. You actually see, this is the jail cell that was blown up before. The gnoll flat out runs straight into the damn thing. It can't see anything. And just, boom, the horse runs straight into the bars, or what's left of the bars. Jasper, you're up.
Alrighty, Jasper leaps to Smokey's back. Smokey leaps across the intervening space, Jasper on his back. It's slow motion. You can hear this whinny as the white horse passes over the gap between buildings, with Jasper holding the reins with one hand, casting a spell with the other. And the ground all around and in front of Vic and Carter becomes entangled.
Yes!
Oh,
Nice.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
It's huge.
yeah.
It might get Myra on the other end of the building.
All of these tumbleweeds, the low scrub grass, there's a single little mesquite tree that all of a sudden just come out. You actually see, coming from one of the buildings to the side, it looks like barley plants are reaching up and out, and corn comes sliding out of it. Oh, this... I think you just won this. If Carter fails...
If he fails, yeah.
What's the DC on it?
14.
Okay.
Reflex partial.
He has a plus 12. So, I'm gonna roll. That's a nat 1.
No.
That means Carter, as he's running, is entangled.
Finally. Some luck on our side. Oh,
Finally, that spell works.
Hell yes.
There's got to be some theme music playing during that
Yeah.
jump, too. Dun, 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 dun.
go Jasper.
Oh, that's interesting. Bonesaw, you're up.
Okay. As Carter rips free of his grasp with Vic on his back in the mask and rounds the corner of the building. He just screams in blood-curdling frustration, and knowing that the wagon is probably in danger, he snaps to Goiter. The wagon! Get the list if you can't save the rest! And he rounds the corner, still flying, and screams after Vic. I'm going to braid your raw nerves into a rope to hang you with if you don't get back here right now and give me what's mine! And as he flies closer, I guess the spell blooms in front of him, and this Entangle traps Carter.
Aren't you glad you're flying?
Yeah! 5 turns later. Goiter's gonna go to the wagon and try to pat out any fire that's going on.
Okay. There's a small amount of fire, but it is nothing that Goiter can't manage.
Okay. Bonesaw is breathing heavily, eyes wild, very nearly losing his fabric in the wild, tumbling flight as he goes after Vic.
All right, Myra. You've got a whole mess of gnolls.
So the Gnolls look like they're trying to flee, right?
Yes.
Okay. She wants to know what's going on in the cemetery. So she had failed a sense motive roll. Would I be able to re-roll that as my action to try to see like what the game is here? Because she probably doesn't understand.
I will say you can do it as a free action.
Okay.
8. I mean, it's a full-blown attack on town.
Okay.
There's people attacking at the cemetery. There's people attacking to the west. There's people attacking from the south.
Okay.
To the southwest.
She's just going to shoot a full round action against the closest Gnoll.
Okay.
Boink.
They are splattered
Beautiful.
against the wall. Just... and they are absolutely dead.
Son of a fucking Gnolls.
That is that guy. He had recovered from his blindness. He's being shot at. He's gonna move over here, back over to his horse. As he's just getting to his horse, which is still blind, he's gonna look up at you, Maz. He throws you the finger.
Big talk for what position he's in.
And as he does, he takes a shot at you with his rifle. It misses, though, badly.
Okay, finally.
All right, Maz, you're up.
Okay, as Maz is looking down at this carnage beneath him of the Gnolls bumping their heads against walls and being generally blind, he's gonna call out, "I'll see you boys in hell." And he is going to throw a fireball right down there without using his necklace. As he's standing on the clock tower above the Gnolls, you can see the shadows around his outline extend, and you can see that there's these horns that are peeking out from behind his hat as he obliterates these Gnolls beneath him.
Fuck. They're dead. All of them. The horses, the Gnolls. The explosion is so powerful for these guys who are in such bad shape that there's almost nothing left of them except just, like, flash shadows that you see from powerful explosions.
Oh, wow.
All of them are dead.
Nice shooting, Tex.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4,
Damn.
5 kills with one shot.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Maz!
Do not piss off Maz. Ever.
Maz, as you look, you see that dog person looks at you, gives you a thumbs up.
Maz tips his hat in the direction of the dog.
All right, it is Carter's turn.
If he moves, I swear to God.
He's gonna try and escape from this. He's gonna reach into Vic's bag and pulls out a gun. I believe because the bonds are not anchored, he can move at half his speed. But that's not much, especially with him not feeling so hot. You get an attack of opportunity on Vic again, Bonesaw.
Bonesaw swipes out angrily as Vic is wrested from his grasp. Once again! 25 to hit, 5 damage.
You also actually begin to hear some shouts coming from the direction of the railroad office. It sounds like the Entangle has bought some time that was necessary to set up something. That one looks at the one who's getting on the horse, yells something at him in Spanish, and He's going to run over here towards the center of town. Terry's going to take a shot at him. A hit. Doesn't put him down, though. Bonesaw, you actually did see what was going on by the church. You saw Duke Van Horn taking on 3 of these guys himself, slinging his cane around and just whapping them.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I don't think Bonesaw has the presence of mind to really acknowledge the badassery of that moment, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. You know what? This one's pissed at not being able to do anything, so he's going to take a shot. He points up at you, Myra, and magic missile comes flying at you, slams into you. Take 2 points of damage.
Hey, I will take that. She kind of gets dust in her face, just shit, damn it, fucking coward.
You all hear Duke Van Horn give another bellow as he slams this guy up against the wall and just gores him with his horns. Absolutely obliterates him, finally. And then it's Vic's turn. She looks around, sees the situation, considers for a minute, hops down from Carter's back, shouts at him something, pulls out a stick of dynamite, and hucks it.
Back to plan A.
Can somebody please roll 1d3 for me?
1.
Oh no.
Where's she hucking it, Blake?
Make a perception check.
18.
18? It sounds like it landed to the northwest of you.
With an 18 perception, do I hear what she shouted at Carter, given that I'm like 25 feet away?
You know what? Yes. Get the fuck out of here, you asshole.
Oh.
This creature that you saw stalking up begins to run across on all fours in a loping gallop. You see as it gets to the edge of one of the other buildings, it looks down over the edge at Sheriff Catalina and pulls up and stops, and then starts running in the opposite direction.
Nice pit.
It does not end up doing much effectiveness this turn. That gnoll is out of combat.
Toast? Char?
No, it was the one that got shot in the head.
Okay.
At this point, you see these 3 gang members hop on their horses, and they begin to ride away. And you see the one near the church, seeing his buddy get got, is also fleeing. And that brings us around to Jasper.
Okay, is there any way down from here, or are we kind of trapped up here?
You can jump down. It's only a 1-story building.
Okay. Who are these folks here?
This guy is one of the fighters that was coming in from the west. He's the one who was yelling at his buddy who appears to be fleeing. This one is the gnoll that the dogfolk shot in the head and is laying on the ground.
Still alive?
Make a perception check.
Sure.
There's no blood around him,
Okay.
and he appears to be breathing. You can tell that with a 24.
Okay.
On the ground, fully knocked out.
Got it.
Seeing that he was able to determine the general trajectory of Carter and Vic, and knowing that he doesn't want to go through the entangled terrain, Jasper is going to head in this direction and then up this street. You okay there, Silent Joe?
Silent Joe has been sitting there the entire time, still smoking. The only difference from when you saw him earlier is he's taken the gun that was on his back and he's just laid it across his knees. He says, "Yep.
I really like Silent Joe.
Seems like you've got a spot of trouble."
Yeah, well, hopefully it's going to be all over soon. Jasper's riding low in the saddle. He has got his rifle out to one side. That was all Smokey's movement. Jasper's just going to, if he sees Carter or Vic pass this corner, he's going to shoot at him.
Perfect. Bonesaw.
Firstly, before I forget, Goiter, having put out the wagon, is going to flap his way back towards Bonesaw. Bonesaw is going to continue to fly after Vic. And as he does, as a swift action, he's going to lick his zombie claws, because I have toxic zombie venom that is in my saliva. And so Bonesaw is going to come howling out of the air and just glom onto Vic and try to take her to the ground and rip his mask away. If you just give it back, I swear I'll let you go. I'll let you all go. I just need it.
Wow. That's going to be a steal against her CMD. I will say, that provokes an attack of opportunity.
That's okay. I haven't been hit yet.
What's your AC?
AC is 16.
Even with no armor on?
Fair point. 12.
Take 14 points of damage as she slashes into you. What did you roll for your CMB?
A 17.
She pulls the mask and keeps it out of your grasp, just barely.
Why do you even care about it? What's it going to do for you? Bonesaw pounds the ground in frustration.
Because you want it.
Myra, from your position, Myra, you're not seeing any other combatants.
Okay. And then she is going to use a full move action to get as far to this corner as she possibly can. Yeah, so she's going to make it to that corner, and then she's going to see what she can see.
Okay. That is going to be that guy's turn. He is going to mount up on his horse, and he's going to start riding away. Moz, it's your turn.
So I still have a pretty good vantage point of the whole city, right? Like, up on my clock tower.
Pretty good. You see the vines and stuff coming up far away over on this side of town, but you don't really have any line of sight of what's going on down there.
Okay.
You would have to get closer. I will say, you do see this one guy just running out in the middle of the place.
And this is right next to Silent Joe and the other sleepy one?
Yes.
Well, what was that song that Jasper said about fish in a barrel? Good. We're gonna throw another fireball in that direction. Just clean up town a little.
So I will say, if you throw this, it will hit City Hall and Cumberland Supply, which is Norrell Potts' place. And depending on where you aim it, it might hit Silent Joe.
Not Silent Joe.
Instead, I am going to cast Flaming Sphere. Just right on top of him. It's gonna be 3d6 fire damage, and I can move it. Hopefully, I can keep it up with him, but we're just gonna put a little fireball on him to piss him off a little.
That is terrifying.
Just a little bowling ball of death.
That's like Indiana Jones' boulder of fire chasing you down the street.
Yeah, he just nat 1 on his reflex save too, so
Ooh.
you just fucking opened up a fire portal right above him and just boom, and he's like, and he is freaking the fuck out.
Fantastic.
Any fight that was left in him, he's gone.
Good riddance.
It is Carter's turn. Oh, this is interesting. He can move at half speed. He can't run, but he can move at half speed. You know what? Carter ain't stupid. He looks around, he looks at all of this, and he says, Vic, enough. We ain't gonna win this fight. Not without taking a lot of innocent lives. He tosses the gun to the ground and holds up his hands.
Oh no. Oh no.
About damn time.
Yeah, but he's gonna trust all those.
There's an awful lot of Pinkertons right there.
All the ones that are left.
Yeah, well, these guys right here. Like Avery's gonna say, "Hold off, guys. He's surrendering."
Yeah, well, I mean, Carter's already scheduled to die.
He's scheduled to be tried. Dang it!
It's his call.
He's on quite a few people's shit list, including Myra's, so he's...
This guy's gonna run. Terry's gonna take one last shot at him.
What's his move speed?
It's only 30.
Oh,
so
convenient. That's what the Flaming Sphere's move speed is.
Oh no.
He's not getting anywhere.
Especially not. You see Terry, he points the rifle out and shoots, takes off his leg.
Oh, shit.
That guy's gonna run as well. Duke is going to come over. He's looking pretty bloody, and electricity is crackling around one of his hands. Vic looks around, looks at Carter surrendering, looks at you, Bonesaw, and says, "Bullshit. I didn't come up here to have you surrender. Not again." And she is going to full round attack Bonesaw. And in particular, just being the meanest fucking person that she is, she takes the mask and puts her pistol in one of the eye sockets and is going to shoot you through it.
Holy shit!
So, we're burning Vic, right?
Bonesaw has tears streaming down his face, and his voice is just breaking like he's been gargling broken glass when he says, "If you think I won't hunt you to the ends of the earth, for destroying that. And then bring you back.
Carter yells, Vic, no! Stop it! And, oh no. Oh no! The first slash with her knife clips you. So that's going to be 21 points of damage. However, as she goes to fire her revolver, you all hear a click. As it misfires.
Let's go. Thank you, faithful mask.
She just looks down at it and like, are you fucking kidding me? And she tries to stab you, and Nat 1's trying to stab you. And as she does, she gets close to you, Bonesaw, and she looks into your eyes. And there is something deep in there. As she looks, she's frozen in place for a second, and she pulls back and tries moving. She starts feeling her face. What? What is this? What did you do to me? How did you do this? She appears to be blind.
Whoa.
What?
Oh.
Can I roll some kind of Arcana?
Yes, you can.
15? Knowledge Arcana?
No spell was cast. You didn't see anything. Something happened in that moment.
That's the least of what I'm going to do to you!
Maz and Myra, you all see that jackal-headed creature drop down and disappear.
Okay.
Jasper, you're up.
Jasper's going to pretty much take in the situation here. He looks at Carter, and he kind of shakes his head, takes the cigarette butt out of his mouth now that it's smoked down, drops it to the ground. Smokey extinguishes it.
A true bond!
Basically, he's ready to shoot if the situation changes, but it looks like there's drama playing out there that doesn't require him to shoot anybody at the moment, so.
All right, Bonesaw, you're up next.
Okay. Bonesaw is going to try once more to wrest the mask from Vic's grasp. He doesn't care that she's holding a gun or a sword. He doesn't care whatever's going on with her. He just needs it. I'm gonna roll a CMB.
Okay.
That one.
No.
Oh no.
Bonesaw just screams and throws himself at her. No coordination, just pure, unbridled fury and anger and need.
Myra.
She's going to climb down onto the street, and then she's just going to run in the direction of where all of this chaos is going on. And she sees Duke Van Horn, she sees Goiter, she sees the sheriff, and she sees this big, massive tangle of trees, and she goes, "What the fuck is going on?"
Catalina looks and says, well, we've got a wonderful fucking escape attempt. I've got a bullet hole in my side, but I think we're just about good. He threw down his gun. Can you get up there and get your gun on him?
Yeah, I got you. Meanwhile, if she can, she throws one of her Cure Moderate Wounds potions to the sheriff.
Aww.
She smiles and says, thanks, I'll be fine. You look like you need this more than I do.
Okay, on her next turn, she's basically going to scale the building.
Okay, perfect. Maz, you're up.
How weak is the guy with the broken leg who's crawling away from town?
He looks like a good fireball will stop him in his tracks.
Maz is nothing if not thorough.
Well, looky here, Sheriff. Seems we have a spare. And he's gonna roll his flaming sphere down the street and crush the man who is right in front of Terry.
This is just terrifying.
Yeah, it's more steamroller than fire, as it just like and destroys him. He's dead.
I think Maz's work here is done.
Carter looks at the field. He realizes what's about to happen. He sees as Avery levels the gun at him.
Oh, no.
And he lunges for the gun that was on the ground. As he does, Clarence and Avery Hodges unload their guns.
Oh.
That is That is enough. What? As Carter is lunging for the gun, he is struck by these shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots as Terrence is yelling at them to cease fire. And after all of that, Carter's standing there, red plumes opening up on his shirt. He gives a smile as he falls to his knees and then falls over onto the ground.
God dang it.
Vic gives a roar of anger and turns, forgetting about you, Bonesaw. She hears the shots, she feels the gun going past her, and she starts just firing randomly, blindly. What do you do, Bonesaw?
Vic is blind.
Yes.
Bonesaw reaches out and snatches the mask off her face.
Make a CMB.
25.
Yes.
Oh!
25. You manage to pull the mask away from her.
Bonesaw plants it firmly on his own face, and it seems like all of the furious anger and fear that has been driving him suddenly washes out of his body, leaving him sort of limp. And if you'll allow me, as he secures the straps back around, a wash of positive healing energy from the mask blooms out around him, catching Carter in its circumference.
Oh. You secure this on, and you feel, unlike any other time that you have used this mask, you feel this sear into your skin.
Ah!
You take the damage as if it were hitting an undead. But for 30 feet around, all the people that were wounded heal up 10 points, including Carter, who, laying on the ground, and he looks at you, Bonesaw, with this look of confusion. And as he does, the rest of you begin to close in. The lawmen come closer. Vic is tackled and put in irons. Carter is silent the entire time, just staring at you, Bonesaw. Maz, you have the opportunity at this point. It seems like the gunfire has settled down if you want to come and join people.
I will. Slowly. I'll hitch a ride from Tumble.
You make it over as all of this is kind of clearing up. Jasper, do you keep the Entangle up for a while?
I know that other people are closing in, so no, I'll go ahead and I'll drop the Entangle. I think it's over.
Vic fights back tooth and nail, but Hodges and Clarence wrestle her to the ground. Carter submits to the shackles, to everything, and he lets you all lead him towards the train. All the quippiness has kind of gone out of him, and as you all approach the train, he continues to look back. He looks over at you, Bonesaw, and says, "Guess I don't get my dime novel ending after all."
Hardly. Look whose life now? You think I'm going to let that go to waste? Can I, reach out to shake his hand?
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting ready to board the train.
I would like to roll sleight of hand to pass him a pair of thieves' tools.
Alright, go ahead and roll sleight
In
of
front
hand.
of everyone.
23.
Anybody who wants to roll perception can.
Jesus.
No, I think I'm too far away.
Don't know. Don't care.
Oh. You got lucky. You got lucky. Nobody seems to notice, except Carter, who tucks it in his vest. And he says, "Alright, Vic. Looks like we have a date with Destiny. At this point, Vic is kind of blinking, and she is struggling against her chains and glaring at you. Bonesaw says, "If I ever get out of there, I will kill you. I will kill you, do you hear me? I don't know what you are, but you are dead."
You can get in line, sweetheart.
Did she get her vision back?
She did get her vision back. The train is loaded up with the 2 prisoners. It is now Terrence's turn to be laying into both Clarence and Avery, yelling at them how, for their act of insubordination for attacking an unarmed prisoner, they are going to be in a whole heap of trouble.
Yes.
He looks around, finds you all, and gives you his thanks. He says he's going to have your portion of the reward forwarded, and because you were able to accomplish your task without killing Carter, and in fact brought him back to life, you all will be getting a bonus.
Yes.
As the train begins to pull away, Sheriff Catalina comes over and finds you all, gathers you together, and thanks you for helping attempt to keep things under civility. And says, rest, she'll pay for the inn for a few more days, let you all relax. But before you leave town, she'd like to talk to you. She thinks she has some work for you.
Oh.
And finally, as the train pulls away, some of Carter's gang that did escape, watching it from a ridge. Carter sitting there, Vic still thrashing. Carter just smiles. Gonna hang me in the morning, for the night is done. Pulls out the thieves' tools, starts working at his manacles. Gonna hang me in the morning, never see the sun.
Dust and Blood is a Rolling Path production featuring Corinne Hill as Myra Sting, Blake Alfson as our GM, Zach Parker as Maz Copernicus Pryor, Keith Curtis as Jasper Graves, and myself, Gail Parker as Bonesaw. Our theme song is Dust and Blood by Arne Parrott, and other music throughout this recording is provided by Kevin Macleod, Tabletop Audio, Dark Fantasy Studios, and the Desperados 3 original game soundtrack by Filippo Beck Peccoz. Transcripts, detailed sound credits, and more can be found on our website at dustandbloodpod.com. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Dust and Blood Pod, or support us through our Patreon at Dust and Blood, where you can join our community Discord and get perks like our behind-the-scenes discussion show, The Roundup. Thank you so much to our Patreon supporters, people like Sleeve McDykel, Barbara, Lego Queen BB, and 50 Sloths of Grey. Going forward, new episodes will be released monthly on the 1st. Our next episode is more bonus content before we dive into Arc 2 of the story. Join us on April 1st as the cast develops out the world of Dust and Blood using an alternate version of the Quiet Year game by Avery Alder. Content warnings can be found in every episode description, and we hope you enjoy exploring this fantasy western with us. Thanks for listening.
My eyes shoot open to the early morning sun. I feel that aching, pounding, poking of a bullet in my lungs. Skinny ceiling, bones crunching. I feel that wretched ancient something drag me up to face that coward son of a gun. His face grows white as he fumbles for his holster. I feel the lead pierce my shoulder, neck, and chest. I scream that I have died 100 times and lived 1,000 years, and I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best. Yes, I'll be damned if a boy like you's gonna be the best.
How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay so far?
I want to turn on the fan.
Okay.
Well, go turn on the fan then.
Okay, I didn't want to miss anything.
Okay, when she comes back, everybody else, oh my God, I can't believe you missed that. Jeez. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
You missed those 3 feet
40 years of
in front of you.
role-playing and never seen that.
Jesus. We have one member who's at 1 HP. We have a naked zombie in the street.
He's
we
not
have
naked anymore.
a
He's
rat.
wrapped in fabric.
We have a rat in a tower with a broken leg who can't fucking roll above a 1 to save his life. And then we have a crazy horse who's about to go on a killing spree with a cursed gun.
Smokey is the most effective member of this team, I tell you.
It takes a good
I think
roll.
there's probably a drow at the bottom of the clock tower saying, "It sucks, doesn't it?" Never climb a tower in a Western game.